What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Sunday, June 15th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think is the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Also, guys, it's Father's Day. Huge shout out to all the dads out there. As a new dad, I'm pretty stoked about my first Father's Day. Let's go ahead and jump right here into our Saturday recap. And it was a pretty decent day out there for us. Got off to a bad start, I will admit. The Tigers at minus 170, 11-1 loss there. Flaherty was absolutely terrible, which the dude's been awesome recently, but that was just not the case in this one. The Reds putting up a ton of runs. The Tigers not able to figure it out, but got right back on track. We had the Phillies at minus 170. A little bit expensive there. A 3-2 win thanks to Kepler hitting a home run in the 8th inning. Toronto kept Bowden Francis on an extremely short leash. If they would have left him out there for 4 or 5 innings, it could have got pretty dark because he looked terrible. A win there, so we'll definitely take it. The Astros, minus 125, another win, a 3-2 win in that one as well. Hunter Brown, 12 strikeouts. Both starters were great, but the Astros rallied there in the bottom of the 9th inning, so we'll certainly take the win there on the Houston Astros. That one felt pretty good. We had the Brewers at minus 125. Quintana had a disaster start. He's been so good recently. He was just so bad out there in this one. The Brewers lose that one 8-5, despite Palante being pretty bad there for the Cardinals as well. So we'll see what happens in that matchup, but that was a little bit annoying there. But we finished the day off very strong. We had Tampa Bay at plus 115 as our dog of the day. That was a comfortable 8-4 win. Rasmussen, not actually as amazing as he's been recently, but Megill wasn't good either, and the Mets had a couple of errors. That helped us as well. So Tampa Bay cashing that plus 115 underdog. That one feels great. We also had the Cubs at minus 230 as our massive lock of the day. It was a close one, guys, but a 2-1 win. Boyd was great out there. So was Burrows. The Cubs offense continues to be pretty much MIA at the moment, so we'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. But a 4-2 day and cashing both our underdog of the day and our lock of the day, that all feels pretty good. So let's go ahead and hop in. We have a massive slate here on Sunday. Lots of day games, all the normal stuff you expect to see on a Sunday. So we're going to dive in, and first up, we've got the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Reds come into this game fresh off that 11-1 win we were talking about there in Game 2. They'll hand the ball in this one to Wade Miley, hoping he can, I don't know. It's been weird, guys. Honestly, the Wade Miley stuff this season has been very odd. A bullpen outing where he got shelled by Milwaukee. Then a start where he got shelled at Cleveland in a game the Reds eventually managed to win 7-4. Wasn't his fault. He walked 4, struck out 2, and gave up 3 earned runs on 5 hits over 5 innings. So he's in need of a bounce back. But this dude's a 38-year-old 6'1 left-hander. Wade Miley, not somebody that's super high on my list of dudes I hope is starting a game for my franchise right now. So we'll see what he can do. The Reds bullpen has been all over the place recently. Obviously coming off of a decent game, but what can we expect from them right now? It's been a bit all over the place, so we'll see. They're currently sitting at a 4.10 bullpen ERA. That is not great. The offense coming off putting up 11 runs. That's the most runs they've scored in about a week. Obviously, an 11-run game is pretty nice. They're 10th in the majors in runs scored. They are 18th in batting average, 13th in on-base percentage. We'll see what happens. This offense been very unpredictable, but much better than I would have expected at the beginning of the year. The Reds will be taking on the Tigers in this game, who obviously have to be a little bit tilted coming off the 11-1 loss. They'll hand the ball here to Sawyer Gibson Long. This 27-year-old has yet to figure in a result this season. He's sitting with a 4.32 ERA, about to make his 3rd appearance and 2nd start. His first start, he got knocked around by the White Sox. His last time out, 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run allowed against Baltimore, and he struck out 5 and walked 0. So I'm going to give him some credit. I think that's a pretty solid start there. We'll see what kind of run support he can get in this one. The Detroit bullpen taking its lumps there yesterday, all the way up to a 3.68 bullpen ERA, but I think this bullpen overall is pretty solid. The offense coming off of putting up 1 run, okay, but you put up 11 runs the game before that. I'm expecting the Tigers bats to reawaken in this one. There's a reason they're 6th in runs scored and 10th in on-base percentage this season. In terms of the numbers here, the Reds are plus 158, the Tigers are minus 185. We've got a total of 9 out there. Cincinnati is 18-19 on the road. They're 19-17-1 to the under on the road. Detroit is 24-10 at home, 20-11-3 to the under at home. With both teams showing trends towards the under and a total of 9 here, I would be tempted to take the under except for the weird pitching situation for the Reds right now. So probably going to stay away from the total. I will take the Tigers at minus 185, but I mean, with Gibson long on the mound, it's not a pick I like enough to be the lock of the day, and if it's not going to be the lock of the day, it's too expensive. Next on the docket, we've got the LA Angels going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Angels have lost each of the first 2 games of this series. Now, they've been close, a 6-5 loss and a 2-0 loss. They're going to try to get back on track here, handing the ball to Yusei Kikuchi, who's 2-5 on the year, a 2.92 ERA. His last start was dominant, guys, against the Athletics. 7 1/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs allowed, struck out 5, and walked 1. Over his last 5 starts, he's been excellent, and the Angels are 4-1 over that span. A lot of good news right now for Kikuchi. He's been throwing the ball really well. I'm expecting more of the same in this game. The Angels' bullpen has been a problem this year. 3rd worst in the majors, a 5.39 bullpen ERA is obviously something of a travesty. The offense, 5, 0, 6, 2, and 7 runs over their last few games is honestly not bad for a team that's 20th in runs scored and 30th in on-base percentage, but they're top 10 in slugging percentage. This team has shown the ability to put up some runs. Maybe they'll do that in this game. We'll see what happens as they take on the Orioles, who are 29-40 on the year. They've won 3 out of their last 4. They're hitting the ball in this game to Cade Povich, who's 1-5 on the season, a 5.46 ERA. His last start, he got shelled by the Tigers, giving up 9 hits and 5 earned runs over only 4 2/3 innings of work. 2 out of his last 3 starts have been atrocious. The Orioles are 1-4 over his last 5 starts, so that's also not great. We'll see what he can do here against the Angels. Not a team he's faced yet this season. Cade Povich, not one of my favorite starters in the MLB. Neither is that Baltimore bullpen. Bottom, 8 in the majors. A 4.65 bullpen ERA is not impressive at all. The offense, 6 and 2 runs over their last couple games. They've been better recently over their last 20 or so games, but not great. They're still 25th in runs scored and 25th in on-base percentage. And now that we're, 69 games into the season here for Baltimore, it feels like that's just the reality. This offense is not going to suddenly look like it looked a year ago. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Angels are plus 110. The Orioles are minus 130. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Angels are 18-19 on the road, so not a terrible road team. They're 22-16 to the over on the road. Baltimore is 15-19 at home. They're 18-14-2 to the over at home. I think this is a pretty reasonable spot to take the Angels at plus 110. With Kikuchi on the mound, I'm expecting good stuff from him. I do worry about the bullpen, but both bullpens suck. Cade Povich, not nearly as good of a starter. I don't think there's a huge difference in these 2 offenses, so go ahead and give me the Angels here, getting plus money on the road. It feels like a pretty good spot, and it's a Sunday, and they're avoiding a sweep. Another mark in their favor. Next up, we're looking at what the odds makers expect to be the most one-sided game on the slate. We've got the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Rockies have lost each of the first 2 games this series, losing 12-4 and 4-1 in Atlanta. Now they're going to hand the ball to Austin Gomber, hoping he can bounce back for them. He's coming off the IL, getting activated after that shoulder injury. We'll see what he can do. The dude's first start of the season. Maybe he'll be fine, maybe he won't. It's not exactly the toughest offense that he's going up against, and we've seen good stuff from Austin Gomber in his career, but we'll see what version of Austin Gomber we get here pitching for the Colorado Rockies. The bullpen for Colorado continues to get worse and worse. It's 6th worst in the majors, a 4.71 bullpen ERA, and the offense, pretty clearly the worst offense in baseball. Last in runs scored, 2nd to last in batting average, 2nd to last in on-base percentage. You kind of see what I'm getting at here, guys. They are not good at hitting the ball. So we'll see what they do here against the Braves, who come into this one 31-38 on the year, not having the season they imagined. They have won 4 out of their last 5. They'll hand the ball in this game to Chris Sale, who's 4-4 on the year, a 2.79 ERA. He's been lights out. He hasn't given up more than 1 earned run over any of his last 5 starts. Atlanta is only 3-2 over that span, but Sale has been lights out. You can't ask anybody to be any better than he's been. So I'm expecting possibly another double-digit strikeout game from Sale and for him to put his team in an excellent position to win. Will they win? Well, we'll see. The bullpen for Atlanta slightly improving, a 3.67 bullpen ERA. Not too bad. The offense, though, has been a problem for this team as well, guys. They're 20th in the majors in runs scored. They are 18th in slugging percentage, 17th in batting average. Austin Riley leads the way for him, but this is just not a very scary offense. So we'll see how many runs they can put up in this game. The odds makers love the Braves here. The Rockies are plus 280. The Braves are minus 350. We've got totals out there of 8 or 8.5. Colorado is 6-29 on the road. That's an MLB worst road mark. They're 24-11-1 to the under on the road. Atlanta, 19-14 at home, 20-10-3 to the under at home. Given these trends, I don't hate under 8.5 in this game, especially since it lets you avoid a lot of weird stuff here. I think we could see a decent outing from Gomber, but I do think that means we're going to see more Rockies bullpen stuff, and that's not usually great. So give me the under as a slight lean. Obviously, I think the Braves will win this game, but it's such a ridiculous price, I'm not too interested. Jumping in here with a quick reminder, guys, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last several years in a row and has gotten off to a very good first half of the season. At Stump the Spread, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there. You'll be able to use our free-to-use bet size calculator, and you can see our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see here in the video, as I am not the premium handicapper for MLB over at Stump the Spread. We've got a guy with many more years of baseball experience than me, some very sophisticated tools and algorithms he uses to make all of his predictions, and he takes every variable you could possibly imagine into consideration: weather, history against pitchers, history in ballparks, history against lefties, righties, you name it. It's probably very, very likely to be taken into consideration in these plays. So definitely check that out. Also, get over to StumpTheSpread.com and get on our free email list. It's written during MLB season by our premium MLB capper. So whatever free pick he puts in there is going to be a very, very high value one. You definitely want to check that out. Also, there'll be information on UFC, all kinds of niche sports, guys, NASCAR, tennis, golf, you name it, it could be in there. So definitely worth getting over there, checking out that free email list. All they need is for you to set up a free account, and all that takes is your name and your email address. That's it. So definitely get over there, check out the Stump the Spread, everything they offer there, get on that email list. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you see here every single day from me, click that little join button right below the video to become a channel member. Channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get their name up on screen in every video like you've been seeing here, but more importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. We'll be giving away another Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member here in 7 days. On the 21st, we'll be giving away another hoodie. So yeah, also if you're the winner from the giveaway yesterday, get down in the comments and let me know that you won, man. I want to send your hoodie to you. But regardless, guys, let's hop back in. We got a ton of games here to cover on Sunday. Next, we're going to be looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Marlins come into this game fresh off a 4-3 win in Game 2. So far, they've won the first 2 games of this series, so I'm sure they're feeling as good as you can feel when you're a 27-41 team. They'll hand the ball in this one to Yuri Perez, who's 0-1, a 12 ERA. He's only made one start this season, but he got shelled there at the Pittsburgh Pirates. So not a great look to get shelled by one of the worst offenses in baseball. The Marlins bullpen, also nothing special, guys. Bottom 5 in the majors, a 4.71 bullpen ERA. The offense has scored 4 and 11 runs over their last couple of games, but over the course of the year have not been great. 23rd in runs scored, 21st in slugging percentage. They've scored 4, 11, 2, 3, 3, 2, and 11 runs over their last few games. So they have these big outlier games, but generally not a very good offense. So we'll see what they can do here against the Nationals, who are 30-40 on the season. They're handing the ball in this game to Mackenzie Gore, somebody who's throwing the ball really well. He's 3-5 this year, a 2.88 ERA. Now, his last start was against the Mets, and he was very good there in New York. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against a very dangerous team. The Nationals eventually end up losing that game 5-4, but it was not his fault, guys. Mackenzie Gore did his thing out there. The Washington bullpen has been bad this season. Second worst in the majors right now. They have not had a good year at all. They've had some decent games, but mostly it's been pretty problematic. The offense, 18th in runs scored, 21st in batting average. I think this team is going to settle somewhere around 20th in the majors in terms of overall offense. So not great, but not a complete disaster, especially for a team that's not really trying to contend. So I do expect them to come up with some runs here against a terrible starter. Looking at the numbers here, the Marlins are plus 150. The Nationals are minus 185. We've got totals out there of 8 or 7.5. The Marlins are 13-21 on the road. They're 19-15 to the over on the road. Washington is 15-20 at home. 18, 16, and 1 to the under at home. Guys, I think this is a pretty good spot to look at over 7.5. I think we'll see a good amount of runs scored against the Marlins in this game. I think Washington's going to put up some runs. I think they're probably going to win this game as well. So you could take them at minus 185. But yeah, I'm more than happy to fade the pitching situation here for the Marlins and to fade the possibility of the Marlins earning a sweep. Next up, guys, we're looking at our big rivalry game. We've got the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Boston Red Sox. The Yankees come into this game looking for their first win in this series. They lost game 1, 2-1. They lost game 2, 4-3. We'll see what happens here in game 3. They'll be handing the ball to Max Fried, who's 9-1 on the year, a 1.84 ERA. His last start, he was very good against the Royals in a 10-2 win. We'll see what he looks like here against Boston. He has not faced them yet this year, but Max Fried has obviously been one of the best pitchers in the majors so far this season. The Yankees bullpen, I mean, it's been good. Maybe not dominant like he looked early in the season, but a 3.65 bullpen ERA. Many teams would be very okay with that. The offense is sputtering. 3, 1, and 1 runs over their last few games. That is not the norm for a team that's third in runs scored and second in batting average. Obviously, guys, I mean, they've got Aaron Judge. They've got a very, very potent offense. So we'll see what they can do to get on the board here against the Red Sox, who are a 500 team now after winning 4 in a row. They'll hand the ball to Brian Bello, who's 2-1 on the year, a 3.96 ERA. His last start was against Tampa Bay. He went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. The Red Sox are 1-4 over his last 5 starts, and while he hasn't been atrocious over that span, he also hasn't been great. And those are starts against Tampa Bay, the Angels, the Brewers, the Orioles, and the Atlanta Braves. Not exactly a murderer's row. So we'll see what he does here against the Yankees. He hasn't faced them yet this year, but I'm not expecting miracles. The Boston Red Sox bullpen has been playable. A 3.55 bullpen ERA, definitely respectable there. And the offense has really turned itself on here recently, but 4, 2, 4, and 3 runs over their last 4 games isn't exactly lighting the world on fire. They are 5th in runs scored and 6th in on-base percentage, so I'm not saying they're bad. They're just not swinging the hottest bats. So looking at the numbers here, the Yankees are minus 190. The Red Sox are plus 158. We've got a total of 8.5. The Yankees are 21-14 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. They're 18-16-2 to the under on the road. Boston, 21-17 at home, 21-15-2 to the under at home. I'm not interested in the under in this game, guys, but I am very interested in the Yankees here at minus 190 as a potential lock of the day. I love Max Fried on the mound in this matchup. I'm not loving what I'm seeing from the Yankees offense, but against Brian Bello, they're going to put up some runs. I'm expecting them to do some good stuff, so I definitely think the Yankees here at minus 190 could end up being our lock of the day. Next up, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Blue Jays come in this game 38-32 on the season. Now, they have lost their last 2 in a row, so they're still looking for their first win in this series, but overall, I think Toronto's probably happy with the way things are going. Now, they'll hand the ball in this game to Jose Barrios, who's 2-2, a 3.38 ERA. His last start was against the Cardinals, and he was lights out. 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed. The Blue Jays eventually won that game 5-4 in extra innings, but over his last 3 starts, he's been very good, and those are starts against the Cardinals, Phillies, and Athletics. So we'll see what he can do here running it back against a Phillies team that he has significant success against this season. The Toronto bullpen has obviously been very good, a 3.53 bullpen ERA, much better than I expected coming into the year. The offense has fallen off a little bit here over the last couple of games, scoring a grand total of 2 runs so far in this series. But over the course of the year, they're all the way up to 16th in runs scored, 5th in batting average, 9th in on-base percentage. They've got some pretty scary bats on that roster. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Phillies, who are looking to win their 4th straight game. They've won 4 out of their last 5. They're 41-29 on the season. And they're handing the ball here to Zach Wheeler, who's 6-2 on the year, a 2.85 ERA. His last start was a great bounce back. He went up against the Cubs, 6 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run allowed, and that was a solo home run. He struck out 7 and walked 1. It was eventually a 4-3 win there for the Phillies in, 11? Yeah, 11 innings in that one. The Phillies are 4-1 over his last 5 starts. Hasn't necessarily been a murderer's row. We'll see what he can do here against Toronto. Not a team he's faced this season, but I'm expecting great stuff from Zach Wheeler. In terms of the bullpen for the Phillies, though, that's a whole different story. A 4.48 bullpen ERA. That's a big part of why the Phillies aren't looking like a dominant team right now. The offense, 3, 8, and 7 runs over their last few games. That will certainly work. They're 8th in the majors in runs scored. They're 5th in on-base percentage. Seems like things are kind of clicking right now for the Phillies at the plate. So looking at the numbers here, the Blue Jays are plus 150. The Phillies are minus 178. We've got a total of 7.5 in this game. I mean, Toronto is 16-18 on the road, 18-15-2 to the under on the road. The Phillies are 23-13 at home, 17-16-3 to the over at home. I think under 7.5 is actually live in this game with these 2 pitchers on the mound. In terms of a side, I think I have to lean a bit towards the Blue Jays at plus 150. Despite Zach Wheeler being on the mound, I just feel like the Phillies bullpen will find a way to mess this up. And Toronto losing 3 in a row, they came into this series pretty hot. I think they've probably find a way to win this game on, it's a Sunday, guys. You kind of got to go with some weird plays on a Sunday. Rolling right along, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the New York Mets. Slam that like button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing the Rays yesterday at plus 115 as our dog of the day. The Rays, 38-32 on the year. They'll hand the ball in this one to Shane Baz. This youngster, 5-3 on the season, a 4.97 ERA. He's been solid his last few starts. Not dominant like he was looking early in the year. Seems like the tape is out, the book is out. Like, guys are starting to catch up to this young dude. But, 3 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts, 4 in a row. Like, the Tampa Bay Rays are 4-0 over his last 4 outings. Like, we got to give him credit where credit is due. Now, going up against the Mets might not be the easiest thing. He hasn't faced them yet this year, so I think that's at least a little bit helpful for him. In terms of the bullpen for Tampa Bay, it's been excellent. 3rd best in the majors, a 3.08 bullpen ERA. Nothing to worry about there. So far in this series, they've been hitting the cover off the ball, scoring 8 and 7 runs over these 2 games, respectively. Over the course of the year, this offense has been better than I would have guessed. 11th in runs scored, 15th in batting average. They've got some very scary dudes they can run up there to the plate. So I don't think this is going to be any sort of walk in the park for the Mets, who come into this game 45-26 on the season. They've lost 2 in a row now. They're handing the ball to Griffin Canning in this game. He's 6-2, a 3.22 ERA. His last start, he didn't look great against Washington. I mean, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 home runs allowed over 5 1/3 innings. The Mets did eventually win that game 5-4 in extras, but it was not easy. He does have a pretty good start under his belt against the Dodgers recently. Going up against the Tampa Bay Rays here, I just don't feel like it's the easiest spot for Griffin Canning. We'll see what he does. Obviously, the Mets bullpen's been excellent. 2 of the best bullpens in the major leagues going at it in this one. The offense for the Mets, 4 and 5 runs over the first 2 games of this series doesn't look terrible. Pete Alonso's hit the ball well over the course of the year. They're 7th in runs scored. They're 14th in batting average, but 4th in on-base percentage. Juan Soto's doing his thing recently. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Rays plus 140, the Mets minus 165. We've got a total of 8. Tampa Bay is 14-12 it's 14-12 on the road. They are 15-12 to the under on the road. The Mets are 27-9 at home, 14-2 to the under at home. In terms of a side, I'm going to lean slightly towards the Mets at minus 165, but I think this is actually a pretty decent spot to get over 8. I think we'll see a good amount of offense in this game. I'm not super sold on Shane Baz having a lights out performance or Griffin Canning the way he's been throwing the ball. Both teams come into this swinging some pretty hot bats, so I think we could easily see 9 total runs in this game and cash that bet, but not a play that's going in the pinned comment. Rolling through these games, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. Slam that like button if you enjoyed cashing our play on the Houston Astros yesterday. The Twins come into this one losers of 3 in a row. They're down to 36-34 on the year, handing the ball to Simeon Woods-Richardson in this game. This young 24-year-old is 2-3 on the season, a 5.74 ERA, so not exactly lighting the world on fire. His last time out, he got absolutely ambushed by the Rangers. He gave up 8 hits, 7 runs, 6 of which were earned in what was eventually a 16-4 loss there for Minnesota. So he's going to have to really try and bounce back here. Bouncing back going up against the Astros. Will that be easy or tough? I would shade maybe slightly towards tough. The Twins' bullpen, while it's been great at different points this year, has struggled recently up to a 3.78 bullpen ERA. The offense, 2, 3, 3, 6, and 4 runs over their last few. Gone is that hot hitting streak the Twins are on. They're down to 17th in runs scored, 20th in batting average. It's a little bit tough for me to get excited about anything the Twins are doing at the moment. So we'll see what they do here on the road against Houston, who is going for their 5th straight win. They'll hand the ball in this game to Brandon Walter, who's yet to figure in a result this season. This is only his 3rd start. His first 2 have looked very playable. At Tampa Bay, not the easiest place to pitch, guys. 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed. Now, it was eventually a 3-2 loss, but that was not his fault. Then against Cleveland, that was his last time out back on the 8th of June. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, struck out 5 and walked 0, and was eventually a 4-2 loss. Once again, not really his fault. So liking Brandon Walter in this spot a good amount. Liking the Astros bullpen a lot. They're 6th best in the majors, a 3.23 bullpen ERA. And the offense, 3, 10, 4, 10, and 2 runs over their last few games. If you go by this recent pattern, they're due to score 10 runs today. I don't think that's going to happen necessarily, but they're up to 19th in the majors in runs scored. They're the 3rd best batting average team in the majors. They're 14th in on-base percentage. I think this team's going to find a way to score quite a few runs here against Simeon Woods-Richardson. So looking at the numbers, the Twins are plus 115. The Astros are minus 130. We've got a total of 8.5. Minnesota's only 16-21 on the road. They're 20-15-3 to the under on the road. Houston, 26-13 at home. 26, 16, and 1 to the under at home. I'm not going to be taking under 8.5 in this game, but I will very, very likely be taking the Houston Astros here at minus 130. This has a great chance to end up in the pinned comment. I love how the Astros are playing right now. I know we're taking them to win 3 in a row. They're 3rd, or they're 5 in a row, I guess, technically. But even on a Sunday, guys, I think the Astros at minus 130 is some very good value. Next on the docket, we've got the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Athletics have actually won the first 2 games of this series in Kansas City. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jeffrey Spriggs, who's 5-5 on the year, a 4.64 ERA. Now, his last start was against the Angels. It was in LA, and it wasn't great. 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. He did strike out 8, but I don't really have that much great stuff to say about Jeffrey Spriggs right now. The Athletics are 0-5 over his last 5 starts. We'll see what he can do here against Kansas City, but it's not looking great. Not looking great right now, and neither is their bullpen. It's worse in the majors, a 6.04 bullpen ERA. That's kind of embarrassing. The offense, 4, 6, 5, 1, 4, and 5 runs over their last few. Not hitting the cover off the ball like they were earlier in the season. They're 13th in runs scored, 7th in batting average, 12th in on-base percentage. This is a solid offense, guys, but the pitching staff is just so terrible. It makes life pretty tough for them. But They've won their last 2. They'll try and win 3 straight here against the Royals, who have dropped 5 in a row. They'll hand the ball in this game to Noah Cameron, who's looking for a huge bounce back. He's 2-2, a 2.17 ERA. His last start, he got absolutely obliterated there by the Yankees, so we'll see if he can bounce back. The dude was having a great season until then, so maybe he can bounce back here against the Athletics. The Royals bullpen has been pretty serviceable, a 3.45 bullpen ERA. Nothing to get too upset about there. The problem for Kansas City is they got no bats, guys. They've scored 0, 4, 0, 3, 2, 7, and 1 runs over their last several games. They are 28th in the majors in runs scored. They just can't get runners across the plate. They're 27th in slugging percentage. They're 26th in on-base percentage. This is not a good offensive team, guys. There's no way around it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. So looking at the numbers here, the Athletics are plus 140. The Royals are minus 165. We've got a total of 9 out there. Sacramento is 15-21 on the road. They're 18-14-5 to the over on the road. The Royals are 19-18 at home, 22-15 to the under at home. There's a chance the Royals do figure out a way and get the win in this game, but minus 165 is way too expensive for me. I'd rather roll the dice here and take Jeffrey Spriggs and the Athletics at plus 140. So that's a tiny lean for you. In terms of the total here, I'll lean just slightly towards the under here, as neither team's really hitting the cover off the ball, but I don't love Jeffrey Spriggs on the mound, but still, I don't love the Royals offense. So I think under 9, probably the better value in this game. Next up, we've got an NL Central showdown between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. They're going into Game 4 of this series. The Cardinals managed to win Game 3, 8-5. That was annoying for us. We were on the Brewers, but the Cardinals at 37-34 on the year had not been having the best time. They'll hand the ball in this game to Miles Mikolas, who's 4-3 this season, a 4.48 ERA. He'd been having a great time, honestly, but then got shelled by Toronto back on the 10th. 5 innings, 9 hits, 6 earned runs allowed, and was eventually a 10-9 loss. The Cardinals tried to dig him out of the hole, just was barely too deep of a hole. Mikolas is someone who's had to go up against the Brewers a lot of times over his career, and we'll see how this one goes. It has not always been smooth sailing. The Cardinals' bullpen has been better recently than it's been, at the beginning of the year, but a 3.86 bullpen ERA, that's a number that feels like it's at least a little bit on the rise. The offense had been floundering until putting up 8 runs in their last game. 8, 2, 0, 2, 9, and 4 over your last few. If you're going to be an offensive-focused team, you're going to probably need to be higher than 9th in runs scored and 19th in slugging percentage. The Cardinals have been better at the plate than I expected this year, but not the juggernauts that they need to be. So we'll see what they can do here against the Brewers, who are 38-34 on the year. They're in second place in the NL Central now. They'll hand the ball to Quinn Priester, who's 4-2 on the season, a 3.65 ERA. His last start, 6 innings, 7 hits, only a single earned run there against Atlanta. He hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs over any of his last 5 starts, and the Brewers are 4-1 over those starts. So a lot of reason to feel good about Quinn Priester right now. He hasn't faced the Cardinals yet, or no, he did face the Cardinals back in late April, and it didn't go great. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back in him here. The Brewers' bullpen has been a problem for them all year long. Now, it's gotten a little bit better, but they're still sporting a 4.29 bullpen ERA, which has them in the bottom half of the league. The offense has not been amazing. 5, 3, 6, 2, and 4 runs over their last few games. They're 11th in runs scored, but 23rd in batting average, 28th in slugging percentage. Not the kind of numbers you see from an offense that really gets you going. So we'll see what they can do here at home against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are plus 105 in this game. The Brewers are minus 120. We've got a total of 8.5. St. Louis is 14-20 on the road, 18-16-1 to the over on the road. Milwaukee's 22-15 at home, 23-13-1 to the under at home. I don't like under 8.5 in this game necessarily, but I don't really love the over either. I will side here just slightly towards the Brewers at minus 120, but the amount of run support Mikolas seems to get just kind of out of nowhere is a bit too crazy for me to put this anywhere near the pinned comment. Rolling right along here, guys, we got another NL Central game. We've got the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. This is the 4th game of this series as well. The Pirates have lost 2 out of the first 3. They'll hand the ball in this one to Mitch Keller, who's 1-9 on the year, a 4.15 ERA. His last start was against the Marlins, 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, and a 3-2 loss. He's honestly not been as bad as his record would indicate. Obviously, playing for the Pirates has its drawbacks. We'll see what he can do here against the Cubs, though. Not a team that's hitting the bat, not a team that's swinging the hottest bats right now, but still, Mitch Keller, guys, not having a great time. Neither is that Pirates bullpen. A 4.04 bullpen ERA. Well, not a complete disaster like it's been at other points this season. Not great. The offense, 1, 2, 2, 5, 2, 10, and 2 runs over their last few games. Does not look good. They're currently 29th in the majors in runs scored. They are 30th in slugging percentage. We'll see. Their catcher's about to get an injection for his elbow. That's not great news. not a lot of positive stuff lining up right now for the Pirates. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Cubs, who are 43-28 on the year. Not swinging the hottest bats. They'll hand the ball in this game to Colin Ray, who's 4-2 on the season, a 3.92 ERA. His last start, he got knocked around by the Phillies. 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, but the Cubs eventually win that game 8-4. So I guess no harm, no foul, but I would say 3 out of his last 4 starts, he's been pretty bad. Getting knocked around twice by the Reds, I mean, maybe you get a pass there, you maybe just suck against that team. We'll see what he can do here against the Pirates, a team that he was fine against back in early May. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and it was eventually an 8-3 win there for the Cubs. So we'll see what Colin Ray can get done on the mound in this one. Obviously, the Cubs' bullpen has turned into quite the strength, all the way up to 4th best in the majors, a 3.21 bullpen ERA. Well done there by the Cubs' bullpen. The offense has disappeared. They've scored 2-1, 3-2, 8-3, and 0 runs over their last few games. This is supposed to be one of the best offenses in the majors. Is that really the truth? They're second in runs scored in all of MLB, but 4th in batting average, 7th in on-base percentage, but just right now, swinging some pretty cold bats. So looking at the numbers here, we've got the Pirates at plus 145, the Cubs at minus 170. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. The Pirates are 10-24 on the road, 22-10-2 to the under on the road. The Cubs 22-10 at home, 15-14-3 to the over at home. I mean, I don't have a ton of great leans on this one. It's been a very low-scoring series so far, so maybe we buck that trend here and take over 7.5. I can get on board with that just a little bit. In terms of a side, I'm not going to be able to take Mitch Keller. He's been too bad this year, but I also don't trust Colin Ray, so this is a spot I'm more than happy to kind of avoid. Next on the docket, we've got the other Chicago team. We've got the White Sox going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The White Sox have lost 5 out of their last 6 games to fall to 23-48 on the season. They'll hand the ball in this one to Aaron Savale, who's 1-2 this year, a 4.91 ERA, so not lighting the world on fire. His last start, it was against Atlanta, 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. He hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of his last 4 starts, but he hasn't gone more than 5 1/3 innings in any of those outings, so it's not like he's going super deep into the game. And those haven't been against the toughest teams. I guess he did shut down Boston, but other than that, not really lighting up anybody that important. So we'll see what he can do here against the Rangers. Obviously not the craziest offense either. The bullpen for the White Sox has been pretty mediocre. Not as bad as last year, but a 4.33 bullpen ERA definitely leaves plenty of room for improvement. Offensively, they've scored 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, and 4 runs over the last few games, but they're last in runs. They're last in batting average in the majors, guys. They're second to last in slugging percentage. They're 27th in the majors in runs scored. This is not a very good offense. So we'll see what they do here against the Rangers, who generally have a very good pitching staff. Now, they've won, 6 out of their last 7 now to get to 35-36 on the season. They'll hand the ball to Kumar Rocker, who's dealt with some injuries this year. He's 1-4, an 8.87 ERA. This young 25-year-old trying to get back on track, but having a rough go of it. He gave up 5 earned runs his last time out against the Tampa Bay Rays. That was back on the 4th. It was his first start since coming off the IL. He was out for, from April 23rd until June 4th. So maybe some rust there, but overall, he just hasn't looked like he's had his best stuff. So we'll see what Rocker looks like in this game. The Rangers bullpen might be called on early and often here. 3.42 bullpen ERA, though, not a big problem. The offense for the Rangers has been a problem in general this season, but recently it's been a bit on fire. They've scored 5, 3, 16, 2, 16, 4, and 5 over their last few games. They're currently 26th in the majors in runs scored and 27th in batting average. So let's not get too excited here, but they've done some good stuff. So we're going to give them credit where credit is due, at least recently. Now, the odds makers are giving them a ton of credit. The White Sox are plus 158. The Rangers are minus 190. We've got totals out there of 8 or 8.5. The White Sox are 7-30 on the road, 22-14-1 to the under on the road. The Rangers are 22-13 at home, 26-9 to the under at home. That's an MLB best mark to the under. Guys, I think we're going to have to take a look at under 8.5 because this is a Rangers game. But better than that, I like the White Sox at plus 158. Rocker's been terrible. Savale's been fine recently. I know he doesn't go deep into games and the White Sox aren't great, but plus 158 is a lot better looking to me than the Rangers at minus 190 with Rocker on the mound. Cruising right through this Sunday slate, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. The Guardians and Mariners are actually still playing right now. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning with Cleveland up 3-2. It'd be nice for them to win that game after losing game 1 pretty convincingly. Cleveland not having their best year. They'll hand the ball in this one to Luis Ortiz, who's 3-7 this season, a 4.26 ERA. His last start was against the Reds, and it did not go great. 4 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs. We'll see if he can bounce back and have a good outing here against Seattle, but it's been a pretty weird year overall all for Ortiz. He has not had tons of success, and when he does, it doesn't seem like he can really string together a lot of good starts, but we'll see what happens here. He's going up against Seattle. I'd say he's got a chance to have a good outing. The bullpen for Cleveland, I mean, it's looking better than it did early on, but it's not great. A 3.74 bullpen ERA. The real problem is their offense. I mean, Jose Ramirez is doing what he can, but just in general, 24th in runs scored, 25th in batting average. I mean, it's not looking super hot. We'll see what getting Hedges back from that concussion will do, but I don't think that's going to really turn things around for him. So we'll see what they do here against the Mariners, who won game 1 7-2. Going to have to make a comeback here in game 2 of this series. They'll hand the ball to Emerson Hancock, who's 2-2, a 5.04 ERA. He's fresh off of a couple very serviceable starts, doing well against Baltimore, doing well against Arizona. Unfortunately for him, didn't get enough run support, and both of those games were losses there for Seattle. Seattle's actually 0-3 over his last 3 starts, but he hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of those starts. So I'm not about to blame this young guy for those problems. The Mariners bullpen has not been great down the stretch here, guys. A 3.94 bullpen ERA. Trending in the wrong direction. The offense, though, remains the main problem. Cal Raleigh, 26 home runs. That's pretty nuts. But they're 15th in runs scored, 19th in batting average, and these numbers are falling. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Guardians are minus 105. The Mariners are minus 110. We've got a total of 7.5. Cleveland is 16-18 on the road. They're 16-15-3 to the over on the road. Seattle is a 500 team at home, 19-13-2 to the over at home. I could definitely wrap my head around over 7.5 in this game, despite both offenses sucking. I also think this is a pretty decent spot to be on the Mariners at minus 110. Not a lot of faith for me in Luis Ortiz, but also not a game that I think is pinned comment worthy. Rounding into the home stretch, we're looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Padres have now lost 3 in a row and 4 out of their last 5. They're 38-31 on the year, not having the season they were planning on. The Padres will hand the ball in this game to Nick Pivetta, who's 6-2 on the season, a 3.48 ERA. His last couple of starts have been very problematic, getting shelled by the San Francisco Giants and getting knocked around very aggressively by the Dodgers. Both of those games ended up being losses for the Padres. And yeah, Pivetta going to have to figure his stuff out because they need him really bad out there in San Diego. We'll see what he can do here against the Diamondbacks. Not a team he's faced yet this season. The Padres bullpen has not been part of the problem. It's been part of the solution. A 3.23 bullpen ERA is very good. But the offense, 7, 1, 2, 11, 7, 1, and 0 runs over their last few games. I can't talk too much crap, but they're falling rapidly, guys. They're down to 22nd in runs scored. They're 16th in batting average. Like, this was supposed to be a pretty dangerous offense, and that just has not come to fruition. Maybe that's through the first 20 games or so, but recently it's been pretty rough. So we'll see what they can do against one of the best offenses in the league. The Diamondbacks are 36-34 on the year after winning 5 in a row now. They'll hand the ball to Merrill Kelly, who's 6-2 this season, a 3.18 ERA. His last 2 starts, he hasn't given up a single run. He's gone 13 innings, given up 5 hits, no runs. Both of those games, he faced Seattle and Atlanta over that spread, were wins for Arizona. He's been really good in his last 2 starts. Now, he did have 2 problematic starts before that. We'll see what he can do here against the Padres. Has he faced San Diego yet this year? No, he has not faced the Padres yet this season. So I'm expecting pretty good stuff from Merrill Kelly in this game. Will it happen? They're going to need it because the bullpen is terrible. The Arizona bullpen, 4th worst in the majors, a 5.14 bullpen ERA. The offense, 8, 5, 5, 10, and 8 runs over their last few games. It's doing what it's supposed to do. They are currently 4th in runs scored. They are 3rd in slugging percentage and 3rd in on-base percentage. Lots of dangerous bats here in that Arizona Diamondbacks lineup. So looking at the numbers here, I'm a little bit surprised at what I'm seeing. The Padres are plus 115. The Diamondbacks are minus 135. Got a total of 8.5. San Diego is 17-18 on the road. They're 20-15-1 to the under on the road. Arizona 19-17 at home. 18-16-3 to the under at home. I don't have a huge lean on the total in this game, but I'm going to lean just a bit towards these Diamondbacks to figure out how to get the job done. I'm not taking the Padres. I kind of hate the Padres at this point. So, yeah, give me Arizona in this one as a small lean, but not a play that I'm super interested in. Last but not least, guys, we're looking at the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. The Giants come into this game 41-29 on the season. Now they're playing right now down 11-0 in the top of the 9th inning. They might score. They've got the bases loaded with 2 outs, but it's looking pretty bleak. Looks like they're going to be down 0-2 in this series. They'll hand the ball to Kyle Harrison, hoping he can get them back on track. This young 23-year-old is 1-1 on the year, a 4.56 ERA. His last start was against Colorado. It didn't go amazing. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. Start for that was against the Padres. 4 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs. since becoming a starter, he's had 2 good starts. Those were against Miami and Washington, and then got some pretty bad starts against San Diego and Colorado. So going up against the Dodgers here, we'll see what he can do, but I'm not expecting miracles. When he comes out, I mean, their bullpen is amazing. A 2.49 bullpen ERA as they just hit a grand slam here in the top of the 9th inning. Still down 7 runs, though. I think you're going to have a hard time clawing out of that hole. The bullpen's been great. The offense has been better recently, but not great over the course of the year. Will they be able to come up with much here against the Dodgers? Well, they're going up against a Dodgers team that's going to be, handing the ball to Dustin May. LA's not having the easiest sledding recently. Now, Dustin May, 3-4 on the year, a 4.46 ERA. His last start was against the Padres. He struggled, but the Dodgers won. Start before that was pretty good against the Mets. He's had trouble against some weird teams this year. Struggled against the Angels, struggled against Cleveland. We'll see which version of Dustin May we get here as he goes up against the Giants. Not a team he's faced yet this year. This young 27-year-old's not looking amazing on the mound necessarily, and neither is the Dodgers bullpen, a 4.00 bullpen ERA. That's not a great number. Obviously, the offense is incredible for the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman hitting, 341 now. Ohtani killing it. I mean, they're currently first in runs scored, first in batting average, second in slugging percentage, and second in on-base percentage. It doesn't get all that much better than that, and they've got some very solid starting pitchers going to come off the IL here at some point. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Giants are plus 158, the Dodgers are minus 188. We've got a total of 9 out there. San Francisco is 19-18 on the road, 19-17-1 to the over on the road. The Dodgers are 23-12 at home, 23-12 to the over at home. That's actually an MLB best mark to the over. You could take over 9 just based on these trends here, and based on the fact I don't love either starter. I do like the Giants bullpen, and I do think, since they're, very likely to lose this current game and be trying to avoid the sweep, or no, they won't be. The Dodgers will lose. The Dodgers lost game 1. The Giants are going to lose game 2. We'll see what happens here in game 3, but I do think maybe lean towards the over, maybe lean just a bit towards the Dodgers at minus 188, but it's a very expensive price, and on Sunday Night Baseball, anything can happen. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com. Check out our free email list and all the other free stuff we offer over there. Guys, we'll be right back here, same time, same place, on Monday for more sports betting action.